Josh Steimle coming to you from Shenzhen, China. Two quotes to share with you first off. Linda Boff, CMO, Chief Marketing Officer at GE. I interviewed her for my book, Chief Marketing Officers at Work. One of the things she said stuck with me. It's probably the one thing that stuck with me from that book more than anything else. She said, speed is the new intellectual capital. Forget patents, copyright, all these protections that people have to protect their property. Speed is the new intellectual property, the new intellectual capital. So if you can move fast, you can beat the competition. And this is invalidating a lot of these things like patents and copyright, because by the time a patent gets issued, especially with technology stuff, it's often obsolete. So if you can move fast, you can stay ahead of your competition. You don't need to worry about these intellectual property protections that the government creates. You create that naturally by being fast. Gary Vee put it this way. He said, speed trumps everything. If you can move fast, you just stay ahead of the competition. It's as simple as that. And they can't catch up with you. They can't innovate. They can't be as creative as you because you're moving faster. This is also detailed in a book called Boyd. John Boyd was a fighter pilot. He also designed a lot of the planes that our military uses today. So you think of the F-16, the A-10 Warthog, a lot of these planes, the F-18, a lot of the most useful planes that we have that have had a long lifespan came from the theories that John Boyd created. And one of the things that he also created was the OODA Loop, the OODA Loop. And in a nutshell, what this says is that if you can respond more quickly than your competition, then you can beat them. Because they're going to be confused because you're getting these feedback loops, these OODA loops. You're getting the feedback, you're responding to that. And if you can respond faster to circumstances as they change than your competition, then they get left behind. You can beat them any which way you want to beat them. So speed is really key when you're doing a startup, when you're running a business, when you're doing marketing, anything. Speed is just huge. And I look at this on my personal life, and I say, okay, so how can I get faster? What are the ways that I can get more done? How can I hustle and get more done faster? And there are three things that I've been paying a lot of attention to lately. One is from the book Getting Things Done, and it's the 2-minute rule. So I look at my email, and I look at those emails and I say, okay, can I respond to this in 2 minutes, or is it going to take me longer than 2 minutes? If it's less than 2 minutes, I respond to that email immediately. If it's going to take me longer than 2 minutes, I mark that for follow-up and I get back to it later. And the same goes with a lot of other tasks. As tasks come up during the day, I look at it and say, is this going to take me a minute or two, or is this going to take me 10 minutes or 15 minutes? If it's a minute or two, do it right then. If it's longer, write a note, get it done later. Another one, Neil Patel, great marketer, talks about breaking things up into 5 minutes. So rather than saying I'm going to take an hour for writing a Forbes article today, and I'm going to take an hour to think about this conference, I'm going to take an hour to work on this other thing, break it up into 5 minutes. A lot of times there's something that's only going to take 5 minutes holding you back. Have you ever had this experience where you put something off for 3 or 4 days? You say, I'm going to take care of this, but it's a big project, so I'm going to put it off until I have time to really dedicate an hour or two to it. And then 4 days later, you go in to do that project and you realize, oh, I need something from somebody else. So you type up a 3-minute email and send it off to that person, and then you wait 2 days for a response. If you had been following the 5-minute rule, you would have sent that email 4 days earlier, you'd be 4 days ahead. But because you waited, you put it off, it's taking longer. Gary Vaynerchuk, he talks about having 5-minute meetings. Instead of doing a 30-minute meeting, instead of scheduling a 30-minute meeting, I should say, because if you schedule a 30-minute meeting, you're going to take 30 minutes on that meeting. You schedule an hour, you're going to take an hour for that meeting. If you schedule 5 minutes for that meeting, you might be able to finish that meeting in 5 minutes. If you need to extend it another 5 minutes, you extend it another 5 minutes. But you schedule the meeting for 5 minutes, and then if that's enough time, you're done. You just saved 25 minutes. You're getting a lot more done faster. So speed is the new intellectual property. Speed trumps everything. Linda Boff, Gary Vee, these people know what they're doing. So get faster, get more done, hustle.